Is California's minimum wage increase a policy success or a policy failure? A new study released by the Berkeley Research Group has an answer for that question and says it has data to back it up. Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco joins us now live and has more on the findings to that study. She also spoke with some of those who have been affected by the passing of AB 1228. Myra?
Monty, researchers say the report shows that the higher minimum wage required by Assembly Bill 1228 has slashed thousands of jobs, cut hours, and increased food prices. Many of us have witnessed that take place at restaurants and fast food chains around the valley and across the country. The Berkeley Research Group released this new study showing the impact of minimum wage going up to $20 an hour for fast food workers due to Assembly Bill 1228. Some of the key findings of the study: 10,700 jobs lost, a 14.5% increase in food prices, and technology now replacing workers at many outlets to offset increased labor costs.
But you continue to read and see in real time, owners that are upgrading, they're getting kiosks, they're not having people work as many hours, people aren't getting overtime, people aren't expanding in the state of California.
Tom Monzo, founder of the California Business and Industrial Alliance, says the bill did more harm than good.
I'm glad another study came out. I'm glad that people are finally saying, hey, this is an issue.
An issue that affects everyone in California: the economy, customers, business owners, and workers. People are getting let go, hours are getting cut, and customers now thinking of eating out as a luxury because it's just too expensive. Something Brian Hum knows all too well as a San Jose business owner in the industry for over 8 years. He says he has seen a decrease in customers.
We're not a large corporate. We don't make big profits. We're not making millions of dollars. I mean, I work there every day, 7 days a week, and I'm just making ends meet.
It's survival mode now.
A survival mode that Monica Navarro and her co-workers know all too well, too. The former assistant general manager says she and her employees were let go when Foster's Freeze in Lemoore shut down without notice. We brought you the story back in April of 2024. Employees showed up to work only to find out that they were out of a job. The business owner responded, saying the wage increase drove him out of business.
There's still some Foster's people who have not found a job. And it's been almost a year.
Navarro says she saw it coming from the start. She says making $20 an hour might sound nice on paper, but at the end of the day, even for workers, it comes with a cost.
Before the wage increase, they had a certain amount of hours. They're going to end up with the same check because their hours are severely decreased.
I also chatted with Michael Reich, a professor of economics and chair of the Center on Wage and Employment Dynamics. He sits on the other side of this conversation. He tells me he will be releasing a new report that will include a section challenging the BRG findings on Monday. Monty, sending it back to you here in the studio.
All right, thank you, Myra. Fox 26 News reached out to the governor's office for comment about the findings in that report. It responded saying it's important to note that much of the analysis in the industry sponsored study was conducted prior to California's minimum wage increase going into effect. It provided links to 2 different studies that found the claims to be unfounded in regards to minimum wage impacting employment. It also provided links to a number of studies on this topic that the governor's office says were the main driver of misinformation last year. Those articles have since been retracted. The governor's office says this study conducted is, quote, pushing nearly identical data as the ones that were retracted. Let's take a closer look now at those studies provided by the governor's office. A new study released by Harvard found that California fast food workers saw a major wage increase. It found no evidence that increases had unintended consequences on staffing, scheduling, or wage theft. It also found no evidence that the increases were accompanied by a reduction in fringe benefits. Meanwhile, a study released by Berkeley found that wages increased by 18% for 90% of non-managerial workers. It says the wage increases did not lead to job cuts, despite what critics had said would be a doomsday for the industry. It also shows the industry has been benefiting from higher profit margins, which have made up for a major share of the cost increase. It also shows the cost of menu options went up by only 3.7%, which is roughly just 15 cents for a typical $4 hamburger. But how does the increase affect tourism workers? In December, the Los Angeles City Council voted 12-3 to slowly increase minimum wage for tourism workers. Workers would earn $22.50 an hour starting in July. That would rise then to $30 an hour by 2028. Meanwhile, airport and hotel workers earn $18.78 an hour and $19.73 an hour. A survey of fast food owners found that during the first 3 to 4 months after the $20 an hour minimum wage took effect, nearly 89% of them reduced employee hours to help offset the added costs resulting from the 25% wage increase. In 2023, Governor Gavin Newsom signed Assembly Bill 1228, launching that new $20 an hour minimum wage for fast food workers. The increase went into effect last April. However, in November, California voters rejected a ballot measure that would have raised the state minimum wage to $18 an hour. That's the highest in the country. Critics say it would have increased costs, led to higher taxes, and pushed businesses to cut more jobs. Experts estimated that the measure would have benefited 2 million workers, including hotel and grocery employees. The current minimum wage for most non-fast food workers is now at $16 an hour. And now we would like to know, have you noticed price increases or changes at local restaurants? Answer yes, it's becoming unaffordable to eat out. Yes, but not that much. No, prices look normal, or I haven't noticed. Chime in with your answer on our website, search kmph.com, or scan this QR code right there on your screen. And stay with us. We will show you what people are saying in the next half hour.